big size raw files for weddings, and I think it's unnecessary. It takes too long for the camera to process sometimes, and if you need to shoot something fast, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, I should always RAW. Why? It supports 16-bit data, which is much more information in your pictures, which means that when you go into a Lightroom or you need to change things, you have much more. So for example, you shoot a picture and it's underexposed. You can overexpose it or bring it back to normal exposure without losing a lot of information. With JPEGs, you just can't. Okay. On camera, usually 95% I will use auto white balance, because now cameras are so clever that they're pretty 95% accurate. Unless I do something quite special, I usually just leave it on normal auto white balance. And with RAW, you can change that white balance into whatever you want. With JPEGs, you can't just stuff up the picture. Obviously, greater control over noise reduction. So if I'm shooting at low light and high ISOs, you don't want the picture to be very grainy. I don't like grainy in my pictures. I remember I worked for a company about 3 years ago, an event company, and said no pictures above 800 ISO in the night, which is a bit strict, you know, very, very strict. And I learned to always keep my noise down. Of course, you have a larger file size, which is, if you have a computer and you have all this space, it's not a bad thing. If you're a beginner, maybe not so good, but you can shoot small raw files, so it's okay. It makes much more compressed pictures, not that limited exposure. Okay, so shoot raw, guys. Can we go to the next? Okay, so this is photography in one picture. I found it in the net the other day, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. It just summarizes everything. Okay, so I'm sure some of you will find it very easy, but your aperture in your lens, I mean, if I'm too technical and you don't understand, just let me know so I can stop. This is like, it's like an eye. Yeah. Check the size of this sensor, it's insane. Check how big it is. And that's why this camera in the world, you can compress so much more information here than a normal thing. So this thing goes up and down. The shadow, it's like your eye and your eyelid. So a good lens, a big expensive lens like this, will have a big aperture. So 2.8, 2.2, 2.0, 1.4. The smaller the number, the bigger the aperture, so it allows more light in. So at 1.4, you know, sometimes you look at those portraits and the whole background is blurry. Don't we love those pictures? They're amazing, but only an expensive lens can do that. Only a good lens can do that. Like that's the one I show you, that 85mm 1.8. At 1.4, 1.8, the whole background is blurred, so your subject is isolated in front of you. So it makes it beautiful because your eye doesn't wander around the picture. So we talk about composition, right? A good lens, a 1.4 lens, will allow you to do that. And the 50 1.4 by Canon, it's about 5,000, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not a train smash, but it will give you that beautiful bouquet that you want in a spacer picture. As we go up, there's a 2.8 lens, so it doesn't go below this. The background starts becoming less blurry, and you start seeing more of background. So why do you use this? So for example, I use this a lot in portraiture, because I don't want the background to be there. I want the person to be in front. And as I open up, or actually close down my aperture, things in the back become extremely sharp. How do we use this? I will use between f11 and f16 for a landscape, because we want everything to be sharp, right? Does it make sense, guys? It's not that. The only thing is, like, the smaller the number, the more blurry you get, the more light you get in. The higher the number, the closer. It's like if you close your eye, there's not a lot of light coming in, and that makes everything sharp. Just know that, guys. So that's aperture. Speed. As there's more light coming into the camera at 1.4, because all the light coming here, obviously, to get the right exposure, the camera has to be very fast to cut that amount of light quickly to get the right exposure. So as more light comes in and less light comes in, it becomes slower, slower, slower. Right? Makes sense? Up to a point where things are so slow that it become absolutely blurry. So that's speed and aperture. ISO. ISO is your sensitivity of your camera to light. This, on a sunny day, you don't need high ISOs. You need low ISO because there's so much light coming into the camera already. There's sun, there's everything. So keep it low. As it becomes darker, you put your ISO up, right? However, the problem is that as you put your ISO up, you start getting grain, which I don't like. Now, you can take the grain out on things like Lightroom, but it's not ideal. Okay, some people don't mind grain. I hate grain in my pictures because I like to add it later. So, good with this, guys? It's not too bad. Okay, let's go next. You can take a picture of this if you want. This is something I live for and I live with. Tips before going shooting. Number one, guys, choose your ISO first. So, if it's a sunny day, low ISO, 100 ISO, maybe 200 ISO. Okay, that's number one. On a cloudy day, 400 ISO. It also depends on your lens, right? Because if it's a 1.4 lens, you can use 200 ISO and shoot at 1.4. So your ISOs first. Then number two, the depth of field. Are you going to shoot shallow? Are you going to shoot a portrait where you want to keep it background blurry, or do you want to shoot a landscape? So that's your second decision, always. Third decision, will I use aperture or shutter speed? Guys, I love aperture. Aperture is your friend. I use aperture 80% of the time. Okay. Why? Because with manual, you're going to control everything. Let's say I'm shooting wildlife, and there's a lion passing by, and my exposure is not right. With manual, I lose it. Right? With aperture, it's there. It's already there. You just have to decide what you want to do, and then so aperture is your friend. Shutter speed, maybe use if I use sports, but I don't shoot sports. Otherwise, I don't really use shutter speed unless I want to have a creative effect or something. But always I use manual. After this, check if whatever if it's, for example, low light, check if you're shooting at 1/30th or 1/20th or something, right? Because then your picture will be blurry. So then evaluate, okay, if it's you've done all of this and this is slow, then just put up your ISO to increase the speed, right? And then review the image and change it. That's how simple it is. Okay. So the next. You can take a picture of this if you want. If you want this to email it to you, I'll email it to you. So you can just give me your email and I'll send you this. Again, photo basics. If it's too bright, increase your shutter speed to cut more light. Pick a big f-stop. Decrease your ISO. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, all basics. Take a picture if you need. I've kind of done all of it already. Cool. Can we go next? Okay. A couple of things I remember from the back. Things, always keep this in mind, guys. Pay attention to the background. Look at what is in the background. Sometimes we get so focused on capturing a subject that we don't notice the background, whatever. The senior guy, the speedo, the big girl panties dropped over the chair, and Aunt Tylee's picking her nose. Okay, great. For me, if the background's too busy, my eye starts roving around, and it's a horrible picture because your eye doesn't know where to start. Right, so think of the background a lot. Another problem that we do is we don't think about the lights. You know, we just, let's take a picture. But the lights, you know, for example, if you go out right now, 12 o'clock at night, in the day, where's the sun? Ahead of us, right? Worst light ever. I hate it. I get those, like, I call it that, weasel? Raccoon! Raccoon eyes. Horrible. And like, what time do you want to get married? I want to get married in the midday. I'm like, outside, right? Yes! Beautiful bride. Like, oh my gosh. You know, please change the time. Horrible. 3, 4 o'clock when the sun is. So, what happens with that kind of light? Okay, question. I ask you to take a portrait of you at 12 o'clock. Oh, you're a photographer. What are you going to do? Okay? Go to the shade. Go underneath a tree. Go underneath a roof. You know, Flash is cool. I'm not a huge fan of Flash. It becomes more complicated in terms of feeling. But it depends. For an event, I would use Flash to fill in the shadows. Yeah, definitely. Number 3, we avoid candid shots. Again, be aware of what's happening. A story happens between the moments. You know, those moments happen. You need to. When you're with your camera, it's like an extension of your body, and you have to be focused to get those moments. So don't forget about the candid shots. Again, shooting right into the sun. Again, if people see the sun, they want to go straight. What did I do? Sun is there. I turn you away from the sun. So the sun is the other way, and I just overexpose a little bit to get your skin tone to look amazing. Oh gosh, skin soft. Tricks on the tray, guys. If you see the sun, like harsh, turn the person the other way. All right? We don't zoom in. The first picture I showed you with the ladies in Bundi, the picture was that smile of the woman and the mother who was annoyed about meeting. Yeah. That was the story. I never zoomed in. Zoom in. Change angles. I'm like in waves, I'm like this, like this, like this. I'm always moving around. I always seeing things in a different way, because if you shoot like this, all your pictures look from this, you know, boring. Find different angles. Another one. Guys, you laughing? I do that at least once a week. In front of clients. Yeah. It's a joke. It happens to me all the time. Okay, this is so. Why do we do this, guys? If you put me in the, it feels like a match shot, right? Put me here. If that's a frame, put me 3/4. It's like if I do this, right? This points in that cross, right? This is where the points become much more interesting. Okay, sometimes you see the most expensive picture in the world, photograph, with like $16 million or something ridiculous. You know, it's a photo of the Rhine River or something like that, and it's like almost centered. It's crazy, but the most expensive picture in the world. But guys, there's no rules. Rules, know the basics, break them. I hate rules anyway. I'm always a bit rebellious, so I like things a little bit different. But yeah, don't put your subject in the middle. Put them on the side, and then what happens to this? The story. You know, a miner, you know, holding a thing, and then the mine in the back. That tells you the story, right? So don't put everybody in the middle. Not worrying about your focus happens a lot. For me, it was, at least as a commercial photographer, and sharp picture is a trash can. Have to. Sometimes I'm not completely, if I'm doing more like a photojournalism, it doesn't have to be 100% sharp. But if it's commercial work, 100% sharp. So you gotta worry about your focus. And yeah, just not really caring. You make pictures, you don't take them, you make them. A lot of stuff, I go back behind the scenes and I try not to interrupt the flow of things, but sometimes I do. I ask somebody, can you go here? Can you look down? Can you look at me? I lived with a tribe in Namibia, the Himba, for a week. And my work came out last week, and I remember there was, actually I saw that picture yesterday at a friend's function, because my work was there. And the Himba are polygamous. They can have kids with whoever they want, and it's a different society. They live very freely. And this young girl, she's probably about 21, and she was pregnant. And she sat there, and I said, can I take a picture? And she said, yeah. And she looked happy. And I said, can you hold your baby? And she held the baby. And I said, how do you feel about your baby? And then her eyes tear up. She was sad for some reason. I never asked why, because that wasn't my job. My job is for you to interpret what I take. And a lady saw the picture yesterday and she started crying. And she bought the picture from me actually. That's nice, she took it home. And this is a song of the Himba. When the Himba are born, they are born with a song that goes through their lives until they die. And it's called the birth song. And every time you go through trouble in your life, the tribe will come and sing you a song to remind you that you're alive. It's beautiful. Oh, I get teary-eyed just thinking about it. And I think in that moment she thought about the song she was going to give the child. And I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. Where maybe the father died or he left or whatever. But she looked so sad. And it's that moment that is so beautiful. And those pictures you make, because if I had to take a picture of her and not ask her what she was feeling, there wouldn't be that picture, yeah? So you gotta make your pictures. You have that vision of what you want to create. And sometimes I feel like some people overdo it. There's many photographers that will go to the Himba or other tribes in Africa and they will bring stuff from South Africa, like necklaces and beads and stuff. And they will decorate those people in the way they see it. And I find it offensive. You know, how can you pay that person $20 and you decorate it and you sell it as art? And it's not real. So I always try to make my work much more authentic, but I still do tell a story. All right, can we go next? All right, practical work. Woo, yeah. God, I was so nervous about today. 45 minutes. What the hell am I talking about? This is a beauty shot. This is a cool beauty. This is one of my first work actually. Maureen, our very good friend and makeup artist. So beauty shot is about showing the features of the face. So you always want to model with high cheekbones, long necks. It just looks great in this. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how to. I'm going to show it into my computer. You can see how I pulled out the shots. And yeah, here can have you. Basically, can I actually put the lights on maybe for a bit while I set up things?
So our time's up for the room, but I've negotiated for 20 more minutes.
Oh wow, okay. Okay, I better hurry. Okay, should I just shoot with the Hasselblad? Yes. Okay, we're done. Okay. You don't have to change anything. It's like 18 mil lens, which is almost like a 56. So not the ideal portrait length, because I'm not compressing, but we have a model, so then her face can take. A good model for me is like you can put horrible light on their faces and they still look pretty. Okay, and she's got those features there, which is amazing. Okay, so let's shoot with a Hassie. Wow. You can ask you to just put this in here while I set up. Right. Yeah, please. Can you go maybe a little more in the middle of her? Nice. Okay. Need to work much. Can you go on the other side of the room? So facing me. Beautiful. All right. Towards you guys. Why I should tether? Because I get to see exactly what's happening on the screen. It's way more accurate, and this is precision work. So if I'm shooting for a magazine cover, the client needs to see what I'm doing as well, and they need to direct the work. So maybe I'll show you the picture of the girl that I told you about. This is a picture. So, this is it. Humanity is just beautiful. They were the most beautiful people I've ever seen. They're not family. They send me messages in Himba and I don't know what to say. Cool. the shutter, it goes. Oh, man, it's like a Ferrari. It is so beautiful. I need my control. So can you go maybe another meter and a half back? Yeah. I will use a light here because I don't have time, so I'll just do it. I'll use one light first. Yes, beautiful. Why use Profoto lights? These lights are the best lights in the world. Rather expensive. About 35 each. Crazy. However, there are no cables. So I can set them up in 2 seconds, number one. Number two, can we put the lights off for the, and this one as well? Because then the light will, maybe go a little bit back there, yeah, to show the lights of the, yeah. And with this, you can switch that off. As I increase the power of my lights, as I increase the power of my lights, the morning lights goes, so I can see your face, right? So it's so easy. It just saves me the time, and I can see what I want to do. So also very, very powerful. With 500 watts power. I took him to Zanzibar. I left with a Maasai about 2 months ago, and it was rainy season in Zanzibar. I forgot that little detail. And we were shooting the Maasai. We were walking along the coast, actually, just traveling together, living together, and taking pictures. And there was a storm one day, and it was raining so hard. And my assistant forgot, he wasn't a photographic assistant, he was a guy that was there. And he forgot that this is open, and here too, and it was raining hard, and he forgot to wrap it. I forgot to tell him not to. And I just clear up. And I thought, that's it, that's my photographic project. I've only got one light. I cannot fly back to South Africa to get one light. As I said, I'm done. Within 10 minutes, came back to life like nothing happened. Unbelievable lights. And that's why they're so expensive and so good. Right, so I'm going to do, can I have the lights off, please? See. You see, I can see what the light is doing to her face. Yeah, that's not bad actually. That's not bad. So let me just try from here. Okay, the inverse law of light, the inverse law, square law. It's very complicated mathematically. I'm not going to mathematics, but at this distance, let's say foot or whatever, we're 100% power. Okay. And here you would think you'd be 50%, right? It's 25%. Another bit, here's like 11%. It's almost no power, and here disappears almost. Okay, so you think that this would be hard light, right? The closer the light is to the subject, the softer it is. Okay, so it depends how I want to light her face. If I want her whole face to be illuminated, I'm gonna go back. However, you look harsh. I don't want harsh lights on her. Her body structure is so perfect that I can hoy anything on her and it'll look great, but it's not ideal. So I'm gonna try and see what happens there. I'm gonna take a quick test shot, and hopefully it's gonna come up into my screen and see. All right. So let's forget about the background. I don't have a background, anything like that. Okay. Dion, just don't put. Just look at me, and then here we go. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. So move. Just want to see the light is hitting you. Okay. So for me, what's really nice about her face, and she's got very long necks. So I'll ask you to actually take this, yeah, and I want your head back so I can see a long neck. Number 2, I want you to step one of your foot on the ground. And then sit. I want you to keep your foot on the ground so that you can actually move. Thank you. Alright? Again, I'm going to just see how the light is going to shape her face. I want to shape her bones, her cheekbones more. I want to deepen them. This might not be the right, this is a beauty dish. Why beauty dish? We do a lot of beauty work. This is a beauty dish with a white lining. There's beauty dishes with silver lining. Silver lining would be a more contrasty light, a harder light. This is a little bit softer and a little bit nicer on the skin. Okay, she's got great skin, so I can put her on a silver. I can even take this off and she'll look great. But I'm just going to do a normal beauty shot. Let's see if I go higher. If you can see, maybe I'm shaping her cheekbone a little bit more. And look at me straight, Dion. Great, stay there. 1, don't move, 2, 3. Can you see that, guys? How from the one before, I'm now starting to get a lot more. And she's not wearing any makeup. That's her skin. So, like amazing, seriously. Now.
And also hangover.
Now, I wanna perhaps just fill the shadows there, right? Just to be. So, you can bring a white reflector. This will be a lot of contrast. Can you hold it here for me? Hold it there. So the light bounces here and fills. Already, can you see already the light? If you take it off to there, right? So I'm getting a stronger jawline. Turtle for me a little bit as well. So we can. Just a little bit lower for me. Thank you, sir. Chin up. Yeah, that's actually not that. Chin up like they were. Yeah, it's beautiful. 1 second. 1, 2. See what happens. See, those shadows are gone. And this is a process of elimination, of personal taste. I don't like the pose. I think the one before was much better. So you kind of start playing around and see what you like. I don't know if I feel like maybe your body should point in that way, and then your face coming, yeah, I love that. Okay, I do this a little bit. Let's just put it here so it's not too much. Okay. Maybe face the other way. Look at me now. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I think it's cropping the image somehow. I'll fix it somehow. Can you see how the background is quite distracting? There you go. I think it's cropping the image. So it's hard to focus on her face when you got that stuff. Anyway, this is okay. With beauty photography, you look for highlights, sometimes hotspots. We try to avoid those hotspots as much as we can. It is a hard light, so it will happen that we can take over Photoshop. But I feel now that this part is becoming a bit too dark for me. I'm not here for even light. I'm here for something. I want to highlight her beauty, the best features that she's got. So we keep again trying and see how we can get a really good shot. All right. She's moved now, so I'm gonna move my light too. That's fine. Let's see if I can actually light you from that side. That kind of looks good, eh? All right. Okay, look at you. Chin a bit down. Chin a fraction up. There we go. Stay there. 1, 2, 3. Another towards move. I can feel something there. Right. Take the background out. It is a very strong photo. Imagine her like in a kimono or something. Looking like that. No, in a kimono. Like some way, like that look, like it looks like a queen. Like it's so strong. I love it. I love it. Now, can we put this behind you, so we can cover the background. Okay, great, awesome. You give me some strength there. That's good. Stay there. One. There. Stop. 1, 2, 3. And you see how it started becoming a beauty shot now. It was the background that was really bothering me, but the moment you take everything out, it becomes so much better. Oh, love it. Starting to really like it a lot. You can bring another light maybe, just to illuminate a little bit there, just to have a rim light there. You can do so many things, but I know our time is kind of coming to an end. So there might be some questions, but you find how, just to give an idea of what a beauty shoot is like, and this will probably could take even up to an hour playing around. You know, you try different things and you see different. I really love it. If I could Photoshop this in 5 minutes and make an absolutely amazing picture. And maybe I can do it now, and I'll show you why you can take this into Photoshop. Any question, guys? We can put the lights on as well.
Okay, we can squeeze another 5 minutes, 10 at the most, before the next session has to start. So let's take a round of questions.
Well, I can go for it. Yeah, for this light. I just want to say thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
No questions? Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so are you using Capture One there for Hasselblad?
Yeah, you can use Capture One, but you have to pay for it.
Okay.
And,
but what do you prefer, Lightroom or Capture One?
I've never used Capture One. It is probably the best.
Okay.
But I like Lightroom because I've been working with it so long, and for me, with this is hassle of focus. It comes when you buy the camera. It's free, and you know, a good thing about a Hasselblad is that it captures skin tones. Like, let me zoom in, guys, and this is why you pay so much money for this camera. Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely insane. The amount of detail that I have. So even if I underexpose the image, I can recover everything. But look, I mean, it's with the hair, the detail in the hair. It's like no other camera in the world. So I'll show you what I do with this picture once I retouch it. And like a commercial, I mean, just to take this camera out of the box, it will be 3,000 rand. Just to take it out to a shoot. So only clients that can afford this kind of shoot will pay for it.
Okay, there's a question there in the back.
I just wanted to find out, just clarify the difference between RAW and JPEG, and how do you change your setting? Is it a camera setting or is it?
Have you got a Canon?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you now.
And then there's a second question: how much your most expensive shot? Just an idea of how much did it cost?
Like, what do you mean?
So you capture great photography. So people that have bought your pictures, how much was it? Was it most expensive?
I sold a picture for 50,000 the other day, and I got commissioned. I took 3 pictures for 60,000 from my client for his house, personal act for him. So it's a good business.
If you at that standard.
One day.
Any more questions? Yeah. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, go for it.
If you want to take just personal photographs for yourself, what camera do you recommend that you buy? Just for your own personal use. What would be a good entry-level camera that's slightly affordable? And the iPhone is nice.
I would go like Canon because Nikon is a little more expensive. However, if you go to like places like Game or June or Wire, they always have the specials, and they have those cameras for like 3,000 rand that come with camera and 2 lenses and covers everything. I would go for that. So if I want to be selling my work as a professional, I wouldn't buy those. Even though it covers, the quality is not for me what I would expect from a professional photographer. But for Canon stuff or family stuff, perfect. Canon, Nikon, they're both. I will stick to Canon in case you want to expand later on. You know.
Can I just add one thing to that, because you've already touched on it. Even if you buy an entry-level camera and you get the 50mm lens, your photography will just take off like 100%. You've mentioned it in the entry-level camera with a good lens makes the world of difference.
Guys, I shot with a 50mm 1.8, the Nifty 50 Canon. It's 2,000 rand now. It was 800 rand back then for a year. And you know what's so beautiful about a prime lens and a 50mm lens? That is the closest thing you get to your eye, so the shots are very natural. It's a great portrait lens, it's cheap, and it teaches you how to be a photographer because you're gonna come close to the subject. You don't have to zoom out, so it's a personal experience. And that's how people shot 50, 60 years ago with a 50mm. And that's how we tell stories about war and about happiness and about the world. That's how we learned how we saw the world with a 50mm camera. So it's a beautiful, nostalgic way, and it's a really cheap and fantastic.
And sometimes it gets bundled in a package for free.
Yeah,
with a crop. So crop sensor could be a 35mm lens. And sometimes they actually include it for free.
Yeah. Also, I mean, this umbrella, I'm using it for photo stuff. That thing is 8,000 rand. This thing is 250 rand, and it's probably my favorite light. I love it more than that, but there's different effects. But this light is just absolute. A lot of my work is like on this cheap little umbrella.
This question.
So I just started a photo photography,
Nice.
but I'm shooting on entry-level DSLR camera with the 50mm 1.8, and I need like budget lighting setup. So people have been recommending either flash or these kind of lights that you're using. What do you recommend?
I started with flash because I couldn't afford when I first started 5 years ago. Then I went to Electron. I bought a second-hand unit for two 400s for like 10,000 rand or something. And as you do 5 shoots and you already paid for your equipment, you know. And I started. Actually, you see my prices 5 years ago. I did specials for like 850 rand. Like a 3-look makeup included for 1,500. You know, like that's how I started. And that's how I built my little business. You know. Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so we
I
have
will
to give
go
the,
flash. Yeah.
unfortunately, we have to give the room up now.
this.
Yes, one more question. Yeah.
Macro, doing,
Macro.
I'm doing jewelry, so
Yes.
I've got a light box.
Yes.
Would you suggest the lens against if I'm not using a tripod, maybe the mini ones and stuff like that? Do I get the one with that auto? I think what it is, because I'm also
Not worth it.
starting to
Sure.
learn. I'm taking stuff more for my social media and
Sure.
for my page and stuff.
Yeah.
So the lens that I got doesn't have. I think there's a stabilizer.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
suggest one with a stabilizer or one without a stabilizer?
Well, if you have a tripod, you don't need a stabilizer. A small tripod, that those little jobbies, whatever, it will cost you less than 1,000 rand.
Yeah.
And then, for your stuff, I would probably use constant light instead of flash. It's a much cheaper source. It's the same light as constant. It will be case if it helps, but it's okay. And yeah, and a little tripod. And if I was you, maybe I would choose a day where I shoot a lot of my stuff, and I just hire a macro lens instead of buying one. Hire it, shoot.
Buy one.
You did buy
Yeah,
one.
but I didn't get the one with
VR. They get a tripod because then you don't need a VR. And what you do is it a Canon?
Yeah.
So what you do in your settings here, you get
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
yeah. So you go into a drive. You go and you put it on a timer. This is 2 seconds, right? So then you focus on the thing, you push it, and you leave it. So then you're not touching the tripod, and then it shoots in 2 seconds, like a selfie.
Because I also got the bigger tripod, I think they get from the top.
Yeah.
And use the lights from the side.
Sounds like you are already.
Like you say, YouTube University.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for the
Bye.